Well, we caught up with our good friend Derrell Peel. He's been around the world talking with cattle producers. And Derrell, I didn't know if you knew this or not, but we're having a pretty good sized drought here in Oklahoma in the U.S.
Sure enough.
And how are cattle prices faring this year during this drought versus last year's drought?
You know, we've seen a significant drop in cattle prices this year, more what you would expect with this kind of drought. Last year's prices held up relatively well, but you know, in spite of all of that, prices have been above year-ago levels until very recently, and just in the last week or two, we have seen feeder cattle prices drop down close to where we were this time last year.
So it's actually affecting different cattle producers differently.
It really is. Again, the widespread drought this time has made prices weaker across the board, but particularly weak for the lightweight end of the feeder cattle market. So, you know, a cow-calf producer forced to sell in this is seeing a classic, you know, drought problem of being forced to sell when you didn't want to sell and at prices that you didn't want to have to sell at. But at the same time, underneath that, the market is preserving an underlying market signal here. We have a very flat price structure now across the feeder cattle such that there's a pretty good value of gain there. The market still wants us to put weight on these cattle before they go to the feedlot and eat a lot of expensive corn. And so if, you know, for a producer who happened to have some feed resources, there's actually an opportunity to lock in some pretty decent value of gain at the stocker level for a producer who could take advantage of that. So
if a cattle producer has the resources, the grassland, if he has the money and feed, this could be an opportunity for him to pick up some low-priced cattle.
It's a case where, you know, if you can do what everybody else can't do right now, then there is an opportunity in that market. It often happens in the cattle markets that when production is easy, marketing is hard. Right now we have a case where production is hard, but there's some market opportunities if you're one of the few who can take advantage of that.
Okay, let's talk cattle prices and the impact around the world.
You know, the rest of the world keeps a close eye on our drought, you know, probably more so directly through the grain markets, right. but across all of our agricultural markets, I can assure you, and having spent time in a couple of different South American countries in the last couple of weeks, folks there are very keen on what's going on with us. What happens here is not just impacting us, but it does have impacts around the world.
Okay, thank you much. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.